Good evening, family, and welcome to the podcast, In the Black of My Mind. I'm your host, Al Thomas, so just settle in, enjoy the ride with us. I got you. Our guest tonight is a good friend, a professional vocalist, an on-call musician who's done all kinds of dope things, studio recording session singer, a veteran of the touring circuit, an educator. He's had the good fortune of working with artists such as James Brown, Stevie Wonder, Bob Dylan, James Taylor, Carole King, Donald Fagen, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Sting, Billy Joel, David Bowie, Diana Ross, Beyonce, Willie Nelson, Roberta Flack,
Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
Luther Vandross, and Ralph McDonald, just to name a few.
A lucky brother from Detroit.
Man, please. His television's credits include The Today Show, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Good Morning America, the Grammy Awards, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Dude, you done read everything.
Bruh, I'm trying to do my thing, man. I'm trying to be thorough here, you know.
I hear you.
Welcome to the podcast, Dennis Collins.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for asking me to do this. It's kind of interesting to do an interview. My second interview in my whole life, so
Really?
I'm a little nervous.
No, man. You know, just relax, man. We're gonna have a good time, man. You know.
All right.
All right. So, where were you born?
Detroit, Michigan.
Born and raised.
Motown. That's right.
Mm.
That's where all this love of music and all kinds of music started.
Nice. Brothers and
know.
sisters.
Youngest of five,
Uh huh.
three brothers, one sister.
Okay.
Music in school, music in church, Motown,
There we
dad
go.
playing jazz,
Really?
a radio station that played every genre on the same station out of
Nice.
Canada,
Nice.
CKLW. So you got a chance to, listen and hear different things and find out what you like.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, do any of your brothers and sisters play or sing?
Well, they all sing, but nobody was crazy enough to want to pursue this as a career.
Oh, okay.
So everybody played an instrument in school, sang in the church choir, did
Wow.
the talent shows.
Right.
So watching them, baby brother was like, wow, I want to do that too.
Hmm.
And that's
So
how it started.
it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
Well, in a certain way, it was just fun. And I loved just being in the ensemble, listening to Eddie Kendricks and the Temptations. You're just singing with your eyes closed. So this other thing was not even like a part of it, It was just making that good music.
Right.
Yeah.
So how was growing up in Detroit?
It was fun. It was our church down the block. There was a youth group a half a mile away. It was family. And, we just had a good time all the time.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Just young and your cousins and your friends and school and your parents and neighbors watching over. So, there was some of us who got into a little trouble, but it was, not like it is now.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, yeah. Life now for our kids, it's a different world.
Oh, truly.
Yeah.
Now, tell me you went to Cass Tech.
Cass Tech,
Did
that's
you?
right. I did. I went to Cass Tech.
Wow.
Which was the other thing. That school brought not only music, but it had every curriculum, every vocation in one building, kind of like what music and art is. Well, our school had everything from automotive, home ec, performing arts, science and arts, chem bio, everything.
Wow.
So the kids, we all got a chance to, it was a public prep school, kind of, sort of. Yeah. So that's where we really learned that it was more than just loving your music,
Gotcha.
but studying harmony and ensembles and madrigals and jazz ensemble.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got an illustrious alumni over there from
That's right.
Tech.
That's right.
I mean, Diana Ross,
Ron Carter, Donald
that's right,
Byrd.
Ron Carter.
Yeah.
And Donald Byrd. I didn't know
That's
Donald
right.
Byrd went there.
And Marcus Belgrave and
Wow.
Paul Reiser,
Oh, yeah.
who right out of high school was called by Motown because he had this gift of arranging. And he says he didn't want to be in pop music. He hated pop music. He was a classical trombone guy.
Okay.
So he wanted to be in the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. You know, and then from there, from Motown, from the Miracles, Temptations, My Girl, all those things are his genius arrangements.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I'd say Greg Fillinganes, or as we called him in school, Mouse, became the most, I would say, famous musician because he came to California and got with Stevie Wonder.
Right.
And from Stevie Wonder, it was Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, and everything in between. So you don't get much better than that.
No. That's what they say in the country. That's high cotton.
That's high cotton. That's right. Yeah. So
man. Wow.
Jerry Allen was another one of our. She was in my graduating class. Jazz pianist. Yeah.
Wow. So you sang in different kinds of bands outside of school?
Well, you know, that's the thing. Other than school and church, I was never in any bands. That's the weird thing. So from church to singing in high school and some, you know, in college, and then the opportunity to get to New York. I had never been in a group before, you know. I think at one point I almost tried to audition for I don't know if it was Enchantment or something like that in Detroit. And I didn't, you know, I wasn't tall and slick enough, so I didn't get in the group. And so, you know, I was like, oh well, you know, that was my shot at trying to be like one of the Temptations or something.
Right.
Didn't quite work out.
Yeah, I did a gig with them up in the Poconos. I was singing with Surface.
Okay.
And and they were on the bill. What's my man? Howard Hewitt.
Oh yeah.
Sugarfoot's Ohio Players.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And it was crazy because everybody there was cool. You know, I'm in the green room and just hanging out with everybody, and we having a good time. And then Sugarfoot walks in the room, and then I became a groupie again.
I know that feeling, right?
Oh man,
yeah.
Because we had played his music back in the early '70s and stuff. You know, the Ohio Players and stuff, man. And,
right.
Know, so, but yeah, I hung with Sugarfoot all night. I was like, yo, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, those great stories. A lot of people don't know what we side musicians or background musicians. What, you know, it's some special things that we get to experience. Just like this thing, I just did a gig this past week in the city. This organization called God's Love We Deliver, and we've been doing it for like 8 years. They raise money for homeless people to feeding New York City, and you get like 20 artists. We do 2 days of rehearsal with every band, two rounds of their song each, and then we do a big show. But everybody's been there, from James Taylor, Mavis Staples, Bon Jovi, and every other artist that we've all known and loved.
Right.
So and I got the best seat in the house. I'm on stage on a stool in the back, and I'm just loving it, you know.
I know, that's right.
And
you singing background for all of those folks?
Yeah, all of them. So we got to sing Hotel California and the other big hit of his, let's see, Hotel California, and the other big hit that they had.
Okay.
So there you are. It's like, you know, dream come true. Who would have thought, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, where'd you go to college?
I went to Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan, not Oakland, California. Music program there, you know, studying. I mean, if I could have gone to Fantasy Island as a kid, I wanted to be like George Shirley, like an operatic tenor, you know?
Oh, wow.
So just like I said, just the opportunity to learn different kinds of music. That's all I wanted to do. Well, I shouldn't say there were 3 things I thought about as a kid: be an airplane pilot, a teacher, or a musician. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you start singing professionally?
I got to New York. I had a cousin who was a background singer. Her name was Crystal Davis, and I had two cousins. One cousin here in fashion and one in music. So as we would try to, want to come to New York for a visit, I got here. She was singing at the time with Luther Vandross before he became the Luther of Never Too Much. She was in his band. He had a
Okay.
band,
Mm-hmm.
a group rather. And being with her and going to a rehearsal with them, I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. I've never been in a rehearsal studio where you got the mirrors and the band.
Right, right.
And I'm like, okay, harmony, yeah, I can get into this. And that was my introduction through my cousin Crystal, who was really tight with Luther.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a session that he did. And because I had, been singing in school and knew how to listen to harmonies and stuff, he asked me to sing on the session. So I got to do a recording session at Atlantic Records with my cousin Crystal. Sissy Houston was on it, and another studio singer by the name of Maretha Stewart, who's gone now.
Mm.
And that was my first. I'm like in awe. I'm like, this is the woman who sang with Aretha Franklin.
Wow.
So that was, and then that was my love. And I like being in the studio more, making music like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like performing. I'm like trying to learn to come out front and, do a little something, but I've loved being just an ensemble background studio singer. It's taken me all over the world.
Wow.
So yeah.
So where'd you go from there after doing that with Luther?
More sessions came. I met Jocelyn Brown. So there were a couple of clubs, McKell's and 7th Avenue South. So as people needed background singers, I became one of the, background singers with her, and just more sessions and records. And then I met, Onaji Allen Gums. I did some work with him. Like, a lot of artists, jazz artists would do a vocal song. So just going out to McKell's and 7th Avenue South and being in that circle, I got this song. I'd like you to do it for my record. And then that's how it all started.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was a good time. I mean, I'm sure musicians hang out like that now in a different way, but it just seemed like everybody was around and, we're doing this. Come on, go over here, and hear this. And that's how you met people.
Right.
So yeah. That's how it wasn't always easy. There were times when I wasn't doing anything, like, okay, this is I want to work. I want to get a job. I want to like sing. So it wasn't like one thing and it happened quickly, but it did happen. I'm grateful that it happened the way it did.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Wow. Any memorable tours?
Yeah. Roberta Flack, who, once again, because I was around and singing with other people, and there came a time when she needed another guy, another singer. So, and I had been around her a couple of times because, I started doing jingles too. Thank God I got in on some jingles with Luther and Crystal and other people.
Okay.
And there was a producer, Debbie McDuffie, who was like the only female and the only Black female producer in the advertising business. So a lot of the commercials of things, for our community, Kentucky Fried Chicken or Coors Beer back when they had beer commercials. And Roberta Flack walked in one day on because she did those things too, because she knew all these folks. It was a circle of them,
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's Roberta Flack. And then Patti LaBelle. This one session was Luther, Patti LaBelle, Roberta, and your boy here. So I was totally like freaked out. I couldn't even look across the mic. I couldn't even look across the mic at them,
Right.
And so yeah, I was like, if I had never done another thing in my life, I was like, Mom, Dad, called him on the phone. Guess what?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
I'd have been intimidated a little.
Yeah.
A little, not just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And I'm like standing there like, how do I look over the mic at, of course, Roberta knew everything. Like when they played the track, she was just, well, let's go to the piano. And she just started playing the parts,
Okay.
being the teacher that she was.
Right. Right.
And I'm like, Lord, this is deep. And then
Mm.
a few years later, I got a call from her asking me if I wanted to go on the road with her.
Mm.
And I'm like, yes. And the first trip was the first tour was a 3-week tour of Japan.
Wow.
So that's
Now,
how
this is your very first tour.
very first tour. I had never,
Wow.
I had to get a passport
Right. Right.
and all that good stuff. And so I owe a lot to her, listening and learning from her as we all did. I remember
Mhm.
my parents listening to First Take and
Mhm.
Chapter 2, and now here I am singing, and then I got to do the duets that she did with Donnie,
Right.
which
Right.
was that was life changing and a serious
Mm.
thrill because I guess that was like 1980, 81, and he had just passed away in 90. Not no seven.
No,
I'm sorry,
79.
79.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, just trying to master what we've all been listening to all these
Wow.
years, and then finally getting a chance to do that.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yep.
And you spent a lot of time with her, right?
An awful lot of time, and even to this day, she's very ill, as you know.
Yeah.
She's got ALS, and I go visit her, and it's just so sad. I know we are our grandmothers or grandfathers. We all have somebody who may have gotten to that point of something, but
Right. Right.
it's just she's pretty bad off, and
Wow.
she knows you
Mhm.
sometimes. She can't talk, so but I just had so many wonderful learning experiences, and she was tough too.
Mm. Oh, I'm sure.
She demanded that you were at the top of what you did to hang with her.
Right. Right.
So I
Right.
learned pretty much everything from being around her and listening to all those great records that we grew up on.
Mm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
What would you say was the dopest gig you ever played?
Well, Roberta in Japan, because
Mm.
I got to sing The Closer I Get to You and Where is the Love, and probably Back Together Again, which,
Mm.
I'm like, this is deep. I'm singing, trying to, like in classical music, you do what was written. You do what what was done. So I'm trying to not try to do my own thing and just try to sing it my
Mhm.
voice, but the way he did it. And it
Mhm.
was kind of chilling that the response that we got.
Wow.
That she was like, and she hadn't been really singing the songs that much either
Mm.
since he had passed.
Right. Right. Right.
And I would say another one was I got to do the Grammy Awards one year singing background.
Mm.
And
Where was it at? In New York?
in LA.
In LA.
I've done it a couple of times. It was in
Okay.
LA,
Mhm.
and just pretty incredible experience because I was with the Blue Man group, which
Mhm.
was like, they weren't really like s- popular stars. They had that show on Broadway,
Mhm.
but they were, they had started pairing different acts together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they had Blue Man Group, Gil Scott, and this guy Moby.
Mhm.
And it turned out what we did, they hired 4 background singers from here, and they kind of let us help to create the arrangement to make what we were doing more than just in the background. And it was like talked about as one of the highlights of the show all week. And when we performed it, it went over really well. And it was kind of all of a sudden people like trying to take pictures of you and stuff. I'm like,
Wow.
we're just the background people. But
Mm.
those guys were so nice that they said, no. Some people will have you someplace in a closet, you know what I'm saying? Not in the
Mhm.
dressing. They said, we want them with us. So they moved us with them. And we thought that was and they took care of us and treated us like we were a part
Mm.
of it. So that made the experience really special. Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Who are your role models?
Musically, I would say Donnie, Roberta, Stevie Wonder,
Mm.
Motown, you know.
Mhm.
That's just Eddie Kendrick was my,
Eddie.
that sweet voice, never pushing,
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
screaming, never doing crazy stuff.
Right.
And that group was so incredible.
Mm.
Every voice type, but when they sang together, it was just perfect harmony. Nobody was sticking out, you know. We put
Mm-hmm.
our headphones on, we could separate and hear who had what voice, but the blend and the precision was so amazing.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm a Motown kid, you know, that's my Bible.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
Did,
Aretha, of course.
of course.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
did you go to the Christmas shows that they would have at the Fox
Oh
Theater?
yeah, at the Fox Theater, every
Yeah.
year the family would go,
Mm.
and to see all of them on one show,
Right.
and
Right.
then try to stay around and see the second show because they did like 4 or 5 shows a
Oh
day.
wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all of that is why I know I'm the musician that I am, because they,
Mm.
you know, they took those kids and showed them how to represent themselves,
Right.
coming from
Right.
the, you know, and yeah, that was just the standard. And then I got a chance to work with Diana Ross. I
Mm.
worked with Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder,
Wow.
you
Wow.
know, and to sit with Diana Ross when she wasn't being the superstar person that she is, but just sitting in the room. I was like, I did 3 of her records.
Oh wow.
And just to sit there in the lounge and she's on the phone talking to her kids, like, well, why would you do that? You know,
Mm.
just
Mm-hmm.
like any parent.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Right.
that was a great experience.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. See, I think to work with Stevie would be like the ultimate for me.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
me too. That was yeah, that was a highlight because it was something. I think the ASCAP 100th anniversary, and
Mm.
he did "You Are the Sunshine of My Life." So he's there, and we're here, not knowing what he's gonna do. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, I don't know if he didn't call my name. He said, "Well, I need you to sing that opening line. You are
Oh
the
right.
sun," because there were 2 voices before he came in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That guy Jim Gilstrap, I think is his name, and a woman Lonnie Gross. See, you know, we studied all that. That's how
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
that was my manual, looking at the back of records.
Exactly.
So I got to sing that. I'm like, Ma, your baby boy, look where he is, you know. And I tried
Mm.
to sing it like the guy sang it on the record. And I was like, talk about being high and just taking off into the stratosphere.
Mm.
I
Mm.
got to sing that with Stevie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And then he
Mm.
was sitting at the piano and he just started playing things and we started doing the background. Nobody was in the room. That was during the sound check rehearsal. So there we were having our special time with Stevie Wonder.
Right. Right.
Yep, yep.
Wow. Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Any fiascos on the road?
Not really. See, I've been very fortunate because Roberta was like the standard for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really did any other crazy wild tours. I worked with this French guy for a few months and it was different, but it was never any kind of strange, you know, crazy stuff. So unfortunately, you know, I escaped most of that stuff.
Oh,
And there
no
were
doubt.
things around, but it was always a good group of people too. That's the other thing.
Mm.
And we kind of liked the same things. And as long as we could like go out in the day, see things, and then eat,
Right. Right. Right.
eat,
We're
you know,
good. Yeah.
eat some
Yeah.
good food.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't that wild, crazy stuff. A
Mm.
little bit, but not much.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. I got some rapid fire questions.
All righty.
What are your hobbies?
My hobbies, I would say reading, fishing, and just listening to music.
Mm.
Yep, yep.
Cool. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life?
Uh, I would say just the fact that I'm living my dream, still getting calls to work with any and everybody who we could imagine in our history
Mm.
musically. I
Mm.
mean, I've had a chance to sing with James Brown,
Mm.
Bob Dylan. So, you know, just being in the ensemble, just to be able to continue to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, not everybody, they say, oh, yeah, the musicians, the background. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't know how important the musicians and the singers are
Mm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
whole presentation. which is fine with me. I guess, a few more things, maybe make a little more money to retire one day. But
Okay.
I'm been pretty satisfied
Mm.
with it. I am starting to really now finally do my own thing. You start working on stuff and you stop, or you get a call to go on tour to do somebody else's project.
Right,
So I'm
right.
slowly trying to finish this song and get something out and hopefully do a whole project soon.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now you're releasing a single soon, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I'm releasing a single finally, something I've been working on for a while. You stop, you add things.
Mm-hmm.
COVID came along and really changed
Mm.
everything. And then we all started doing things we never thought we'd have to do. Staying home for and I got very sick. Thank God I made it through. It was scary. That
Wow.
first bout of COVID.
Right, right, right.
Uh, this same gig that I do every March. Well, that year it was that week when the orange guy was saying it's nothing, and nobody knew that the plague was coming.
Right, right.
I was in bed for 3 months. The
Oh.
house was deadly silent, praying,
Mm.
Lord, 4 kids, wife, please don't take me. And I'm grateful. I mean, a lot of people didn't make it,
Mm.
but after that, and just trying to get back to doing things, I started working on the music again because I was
Okay.
just home.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
How did everybody else do?
The family was, thank God. My wife also got sick, but not as sick as I was because I
Right,
was there at the Beacon 4 days, breathing down there, hugging everybody that you haven't seen.
right, right,
And
right.
then that city shut down the day we did our show. But they
Mm.
said, okay, well, we'll just stream it. We won't have more than 300 people in the room.
Right,
It was too late,
right,
you know.
right.
But thank God
Wow.
we're here.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the story to be told of hope and keeping, keep going and all that is what I know. That's more of what I want to do.
Mm.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My calling.
yeah. We lost a lot of people during that period of time.
Yes, we
A
did.
lot of really good people.
Yep.
What's on your bucket list?
My bucket list to see my 4 children finally take off and strive at what we've always told them they have a gift, talent, and an interest from God. And we just
Mm.
want to see them. And we got a creative family on top of that.
Right.
So to see them get set up and move toward growing and finishing what they're supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's the most important. And I'd love to do my own record and get to tour and spread this message that I believe we as artists have a responsibility to do some great stuff and
Mm.
touch people and change situations and all of like Nina Simone spoke about that and other folks too. We have a responsibility out of this other thing that people think life is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's always been a part of what I've wanted to do and why I haven't. I mean, I had a couple of opportunities to have my own record deal in the past,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't what I knew should be.
Mm.
And so been working and waiting and raising my family. That's the thing that we wanted to do first.
Right,
I
right.
didn't want to be away. Besides, we have 2 kids on the autism spectrum, so there's no way I was going to be away touring and not being home helping. The madness of all that was.
Right, right.
Thank God we're getting through it,
Right.
and everybody's thriving a little here and there at different times. So that's the main thing.
No doubt. Now
Yeah,
your
yeah.
wife sings too, doesn't she?
My wife sings, and we both knew we weren't going to be married and want a family and not be around. We're old fashioned,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so we found ways to be home more than not and be away.
Mm.
And now that they're older, she's singing more because that's part of what she loves too.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very blessed and fortunate that in the midst of all of that, you raise kids.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're here and doing some gigs together these days, and it feels good.
Well, I know that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
What skill would you most like to learn?
What skill? Um, well, the way technology. I'm like, I don't know anything about this new way of doing life and business for
Mm.
your for yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a new world that you can be your own brand, your own business, and grow
Mm-hmm.
whatever your talent or interest is. Whether
Mm-hmm.
it's starting a organic line of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My wife does some of that too, just because, like I said, old fashioned. She's from the Caribbean,
Okay.
and when we need products, she doesn't want to use the stuff that's out. She's making her own stuff. So that's something
Nice.
we'd like to do. We like to, a couple
Mm-hmm.
of kids had eczema, so she couldn't use things with perfumes and all this stuff. So there we are, trying to find ways. So we like to bring all that together
Right.
and
Right.
just grow our own business of what we do and see that that's a skill that, never
Mm.
been a business guy, you see. So we're trying to learn the model of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, being in the music business, you are a business person.
Right, but
You're
we
forced.
don't, but artists don't look like that. Don't look at it that way. You look at a
Mm.
lot of people who like when Prince was trying to say you got to learn and own your own music.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And a lot of people think I got a hit record or whatever, or I can spend all my money, and then what happens in 8 years, you have
Right.
nothing, and they've moved
Right.
on to somebody else. So
Exactly.
that business skill is something that's our people haven't had the opportunities that other folks have had
True.
to know that that's the only way you can live.
Right.
So yeah, so those are the things I'm trying to learn more about,
Right.
and
I
feel
mean,
that it's
James. I'm sorry.
and that's what we deserve. That's our right. Like other folks have businesses.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
grandfather started this, or we had well, we could have had that too if we were allowed to.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
So
James Brown said years ago, man, he said it's 90% business and 10% show.
there you go.
Mm.
And speaking of him, let's face it, he had his own corporate jet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I
And
thought about that a few years back. I'm like, the dude was a corporation,
oh yeah.
had
Two
his
or three
own,
radio stations.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they at every turn tried to discredit and find ways to not let you really be in that club, but he was his own club, no matter what
Exactly.
what you could say about him. But yeah,
Mm.
homeboy had his own, not a plane, a jet.
Jet. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
For real.
So inspiration, it can be done.
Mm.
And we kind of thought after Barack Obama was elected that there was a new mindset of everybody, black, white, green, whatever.
Mm.
And then because of the hatred of all that happening,
Right. Well, there were people from day one that were set on making sure
destroying
that
him. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they said it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell guy. That's our
Yeah.
number one priority is to make sure that he fails and he's a one-term president. Well,
Mm.
he
Mm.
got to try for two.
Right.
And it's almost like it never happened with the backlash of seeing this amazing, articulate, well-educated president with the most educated first lady we've ever had in our country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Still just trying to discredit her. So,
Exactly.
but we got to like not even respond and just go on and do what they were trying to show us all that we can do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, yep.
Man. What was the coolest place that you've ever traveled to?
I would say Japan,
Mm.
because seeing a totally different culture and a way of life and the way people lived and have as much of a peace and happiness about life there as we think we have here.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing different cultures. We were in Sapporo, Japan, and which is a seaport town, but it's not. It's winter time. Now check this out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was the coolest, most innovative thing. And technology, yes, but not like we know it. They had like little water sprinklers in the street. The water from the sea is pumping in, and these little and water with salt water would keep all the streets clear of ice and snow.
Oh, wow.
And I
Right.
thought, wow, I mean, here they are way over here, quiet as we think,
Mm-hmm.
so far ahead of us. There was an airport that was built out over the water,
Wow.
totally out. And I'm like, wow. So just
Mm.
seeing the world and seeing how other people and places are functioning. Or if you go to Africa, even
Yeah.
though they want to make us think everybody's over there torn clothes and mud
Yeah.
all over their
Yeah.
feet.
And that's not reality.
Not reality. I
Mm.
got to go there with Roberta once, and I want my family. That's one of the things we want to do. We want to take our family back to all these places we've been before,
Right.
especially Africa, because you land there, and the
Where'd you
people,
go in Africa?
South Africa
Oh,
and
wow.
and
Okay.
Ghana,
Uh-huh.
and you land and they hug you and say, "Welcome home.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
Mm-hmm.
hear your heartbeat." And I'm like, you melt,
Yeah.
because just to feel, and then everybody's in control and running everything, and you say, "Wow, it's black,
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
majority." And then
Yeah.
you see the things that have
It's
happened.
African.
It's African, and you
Yeah.
see the things happening in South Africa and all over Africa, how they raped the country
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
killed the people and taken everything,
Yeah.
and then act like it's ours,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
But that's just the way they have been.
Exactly.
But you go there and see the most beautiful things, and you just take a deep breath and you really feel like I'm finally home, even
Right.
if you're
Right.
only there for
Exactly.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, now and I encourage more of us to try to get to Africa.
Yeah.
It's
As do
nice to
I.
see Europe, it's nice to see, but the motherland, and all that it
Incredible.
is and has, and what's going over there now. They're still in the diamond mines, killing off the people, taking
Mm.
everything.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's another podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, I went to Senegal
Hmm.
and had the same experience when we got to the airport. Um, the first brothers I saw when we got off the plane and came inside, they yelled, "Hey!" And we turned around and looked at them. And they said, "Welcome home."
Yeah,
And that set the tone for the
you
trip.
just melt for a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man. Yeah, I went to Goree Island
Mm.
and went into one of those slave
Yeah,
enclaves.
yeah. So, which we haven't done yet.
Oh
I
man,
want to take my children to see
yeah,
that
yeah.
too.
I got to take mine back to see that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
To feel that.
yeah, yeah. I went to the door of no return.
Mm.
They and like they outside of the enclave, they had you walk down the hall and there's the door of no return. The door goes to a pier, and that was
Yeah.
the brothers and sisters got on the ships, and I stood in that doorway and I looked out at the water, man, and it was like I could hear the screams.
Mm.
I could see the sharks following the boats. I could see blood in the water and
Oh,
stuff, man,
yeah,
and tears just rolling down my
yeah,
face and stuff, man. I'm like,
yeah.
man,
And see,
man,
I think if we all had the opportunity to, if not go, to see a movie,
mm,
I think some of us would realize what we've been through and why we must
mm,
succeed and stop acting like what they
right,
went through doesn't matter.
right, right.
Like that's so far gone. Oh, that was them.
Yeah, no, 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 no.
Other cultures still honor things that their folks went through, whether you're
Exactly.
Irish or Italian. And because of how they've treated us, we didn't realize that our history was even more significant
Mm,
than theirs.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, we gotta.
There's some validity,
Yeah,
they don't understand. Hey, I think we would think differently
right.
and
And act differently.
act differently as well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
live for them what they didn't get a chance to see.
Mm, mm-hmm.
You know. So
Mm,
we're trying. We're trying. You're trying, and the way you were up there working with young people, I just thought
yeah.
that was amazing. You know.
Man, it's been 35 years up there, man.
Yeah,
So that was helped a lot of people.
that's
Helped a
right.
lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
But I told people that I was standing on the shoulders of a lot of brothers and sisters that looked out for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I would tell all of them, if I help you in any way, then you owe me, and
Right.
the way you pay me back is to help somebody else.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
so
And who wouldn't want to learn their gifts, talents, and interests, develop them, and then go out and fulfill what that is?
exactly,
Everybody, given the opportunity, would want to do that,
exactly.
you know. But when folks have tried to stop you and distract you and make you feel like, well, yeah, not for you. You do this,
Mm.
you know. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
we're learning. We're not going to give up.
No,
Like
no,
Curtis Mayfield said, we're
we're
winners.
winners.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
yeah, man. What makes you unique?
Um, I would say I still believe what my parents taught me in terms of character and being right by the king of the universe.
Mm.
And that's always worked for me. I mean, yes, there have been times like, well, yeah, I wish I could be more, have more, do other things, but
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
nah, I'm gonna still do it. And my daddy's 99 years old,
That's a blessing, man.
and my mom passed at 92, and that's just the way. Not things weren't always easy.
Mm-hmm,
They weren't
mm-hmm.
hardly ever easy, but they were smooth, and there was a hope and an outlook about if we try to do this, you know, things will be better. Things will come
Right, right,
around.
right.
You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's still something that I have a picture on my wall, which I'm going to show you one day, which was my Sunday school. Now in
Mm.
Detroit. Now this is like how you take that every year there might be an annual something, and
Mm-hmm.
the ushers and the choir, and so our nursery school, I mean our Sunday school, and it's about 200 kids that would come to church every Sunday and split off with the teachers and then took this annual picture. And
Mm.
I think about that picture all the time because that's who we were. We're sitting up straight. We were learning, doing our little holiday program,
Mm-hmm.
having little activities.
Mm-hmm.
And I still believe that that's how we have to raise our kids
Yeah,
to know who we are and that we don't have to fall into other things that are not of that good foundation.
exactly.
So that's something that I'm really proud of.
Mm.
I'm trying to teach it to my kids and just model that.
Right, right, right.
So
Bring
as
up a
long as I
child.
can do my music and go fishing and have my family, you know,
Mm.
I don't really feel I need a gold Cadillac with diamond in the back. Sun
Sun
rooftop,
rooftop.
you know.
Mm.
I mean, I might want to rent one day when we go somewhere, but I don't need to be,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just your basic kind of, like just like you, just smooth. Yeah. I've always admired you because you just represented, just not over the top, not trying to beat over anybody's head or show, just. And I believe that's the way it should be. I think we help more people, and more people can appreciate what we offer when we present ourselves that way.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just been of the mindset that the humble calf sucks the most milk.
Mm,
You know what I
mm.
mean? So that's just kind of now. I've been around a lot of folks that are just boisterous and over
And
the top
pushing and
and
yeah,
pushing and
yeah.
and run over you to try to get something.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I can't get down like that. I just what's for you is for you.
You know,
What's for
I
me
was
is for me.
thinking it and you said it.
Mm,
And that's why I think our friendship over the years, the respect and the times we have shared
mm,
have been so solid
no doubt.
that
No doubt.
hopefully we'll get to do more of that together.
Yeah, I'm
We
looking
we
forward
tried
to
we
it.
tried a couple times, to
Yeah,
do some music and stuff, but I just mean in general because
right.
there needs to. I want to see more people like us modeling things for younger people.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
definitely.
yeah, because the culture is saying you got to act and do and whatever, and no,
Yeah,
you don't.
you don't. You
Especially when
don't.
it's not based on truth. It's all a mirage of things.
Mm,
So
mm,
yeah, yeah,
mm.
the flashy, shiny stuff. don't
exactly.
last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
neon and nah, I'm good.
And
I
I
like
think,
this.
the good book, I say the good book because a lot of people want to get offended when you say the Bible.
I don't.
And I tell people, you can say what you want, but there'll come a time when from the most serious part of your soul, you're going to call on God. You can say
Oh yeah.
it's for people who don't have anything or for small. Just wait. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody you know or love is threatened with death or accident or something, even if you hit the lottery, the first thing you're going to do is look up and say,
Thank you,
thank you,
God.
God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, chill out. I'm not going. We'll see. You know.
Hey, what the Bible said, every knee shall bow.
That's right.
So
That's right.
either you do it now or you do it later.
And this doesn't have to be a forceful. We want to bow and look up at the royal family like they're special, but we don't
Mm.
want to. I've even said to people in past years, if I went to see Prince,
Mm-hmm.
oh my Lord, I want to be up front. When the lights go down, I'm gonna raise my hands and start hollering and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way we should feel toward this gift of life and trying to,
Exactly.
yeah. I
Exactly.
have to relate everything to music. I'm sorry. I go to Trader Joe's. They're like, "You're always singing." I'm like, "Yeah, well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a happy guy." What are you? Well, I haven't had one guy, and this is local. You and me. I was up at a Stop and Shop,
Okay.
with 4 kids. That's all I do is go get stuff. I was just
Mm-hmm.
in the parking lot and I was just humming to myself. And this guy, older man, and I respect old people still, even the
Mm-hmm.
ones that act like they're for the orange guy to a degree.
Right.
He
Right.
said to me, if I were you, I wouldn't quit my day job. And I just smiled.
Really?
I was like, well, I'm just humming along.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
Not understanding that that is your day job.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I was
please.
like, wow, okay, Lord, well, whatever. But it
Yeah.
was funny to me when
Some
I
people
wasn't.
don't they don't know what to say.
They don't know what
You
to
know.
say. And I wasn't loud. I was just minding my own little business. And he said, if I were you, I wouldn't quit my day job. I was like, well, okay, you know,
Wow.
yeah.
Mm, mm, mm.
But I feel like the most blessed guy to be able to do what I do and
Mm.
work, with the people I work with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it may not mean much to other folks because, I ain't up front flipping around. But to me, it's
Please.
everything,
You
you
on the
know.
bus. You know what I mean? Well, y'all walking. He
Yeah,
on the
right.
bus.
That's right. To get to New York and meet Patty Austin
Oh
and
man.
become friends with her after listening to those songs on
On
our radio
Quincy.
station JZZ.
Oh man.
I'm
Man.
like, wow,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Roberta Flack, who would have thought? I'm laying on the floor listening to Gone Away with the headphones.
Mm.
Dun, 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 dun. So,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
What's your favorite song?
Oh man, that changes from I mean, if it could be
Yeah.
a song for you, Donny Hathaway.
Yeah. Oh.
It could be Leontine Price.
Mm.
It could be Sarah Vaughan.
Mm.
It's just it depends, and that's the thing. I feel like I used to say to myself, "Oh man, what if Sarah Vaughan and Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway and Stevie Wonder were in town the same night? What would I do?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, I can't even make the
Mm.
decision." But I've just been, the music and singers.
Mm.
That's
Who?
just been everything for me.
All right. So who's your favorite group?
The Temptations,
Okay.
and I mean, there've been some other groups, Earth, Wind, and Fire, of course, because
Oh yeah.
what
Of
they
course.
did,
Of course.
all those arrangements, how they brought different things together.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I listen, and I think my kids, they have also learned to appreciate the music that we listen to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm fortunate that the rap thing and the cursing thing has never been a part of them even wanting to do that.
Right. Right.
I tried to watch the BET Awards a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter said, "Dad, why are you watching that? You're just trying." I said, "I'm trying to learn what's culture, what's
Right.
in now."
Yeah.
"No, you're
What's
not.
current? Yeah.
How could you watch that?" I'm like, because everybody was twerking
Yeah,
and saying
yeah,
things that
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, I know there's a place for everything. I tell
yeah,
people
yeah.
Gil Scott rapped, Roberta Flack rapped, but what they
Mm,
rapped
mm-hmm.
about was not this stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like they say, it's a time and place for everything, but
exactly.
it's a little wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately.
But we got to keep doing and representing and teaching kids music. And not everybody's an athlete.
Right, right,
And there are some scientists too that haven't had the opportunity to become that. So
right.
whatever we can do to help them see, you can be whatever God's put it. We would say to our kids, you're like a computer
Mm.
that comes with certain software from the factory. You got
Mm.
certain programs. So
Mm-hmm.
it's up to you to develop it, turn it
All
off,
right.
delete bad stuff,
Mm-hmm.
update your
Reprogram. Mm-hmm.
program,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Right code.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm yeah, like I said, just trying to stay right in there. If I can go to the beach every year and go to the Bahamas and fish with my family and
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Some music, you
yeah.
know.
Yes, indeed. What is the most important decision that you've made to date?
Most important decision today. That's kind of tough. Let's see, because it's automatic. Like my family, my kids. There's certain things that I have to do, and even like to be with you tonight, being with them and doing all that stuff and picking up Sharon from work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's still my priority to try to be the good father, husband, keep everybody happy and focused. We get on the phone every night with all of our kids when they were away at school because
Mm-hmm.
how was your day? A little prayer to make sure everybody's okay and that the world and certain situations haven't rocked them. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So just the fact that everybody's calm right now and doing their thing, that's what I would say. That's what I like to. That's the ultimate of my day and my decision. That what I've
Right,
tried to do, we can rest a bit in the evening. That everybody's fine.
right,
You
right,
know.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And last question might be the toughest one though.
Oh boy.
Tell me your life story in one sentence.
Blessed guy from Detroit, given the gift of music and living out my dream
Wow.
as a musician.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now, how can people contact you on social media?
Well, I'm trying to get all that together now. I have an Instagram, which is Dennis Collins Music.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Facebook page, Dennis Collins.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm trying to learn to get ready for the release of this song, you're gonna have to tell me some of these things that you have to do because I'm so out of the loop.
Bro,
On
I'm trying to get myself back in the loop as well.
and I'm
But
reading things about you got to be on a platform and you got
yeah,
to be on a.
yeah,
Today I learned that a platform streaming and a download are two different things because I just thought it was the same thing. And then everybody says you don't make money on streams, but you got to be on stream so people can hear you. I'm
right.
like, that's why I'm a background singer.
Yeah,
You know,
unfortunately, you got to do it. It
but
seems like nowadays that your project is like your calling card.
right,
You
right.
know, and I don't know, but somebody smarter than me is going to have to come up with some means by which musicians are able to make the kind of money that they should be making
As
from
opposed to the
every,
companies.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, they're all in line and they're all making money, all these big companies, but the musicians are caught out like making, ridiculously low amounts of money
Yeah.
for putting out some real quality music and stuff.
Well, that's the thing is we talked about this some years ago. Do some music. If we don't sell out arenas and get platinum records, we're making music. We find people who like what we do. We work,
Mm.
Enough to live and take a couple trips, maybe pay our
Right,
bills.
right.
But they've convinced us that, oh no, you got to be a superstar making millions and millions of dollars. Most people don't make millions and millions of dollars.
Right,
So if we just
right.
have a decent income to raise our kids and go to college and take some trips and things like that, but they've convinced us that we have to buy into that thing.
Right, right.
But I think it's all changing with the fact that people can now own their own stuff, or
right.
you get on the whatever, like that guy from Canada, The Weeknd. They say he had a tape and he sold tapes and he became like a TikTok or a YouTube star.
Mm-hmm.
And then the company's like, oh, well, yeah, we want to do business with you.
Right.
So, I'm just $40 million. Well, okay, but you don't have to be making $40 million. You know what I'm saying? It'd be nice.
Yeah.
But
you don't. Yeah.
So we're gonna. It's a good thing that now people are learning the word brand and owning their own stuff. Because years ago we didn't say brand, did we?
Mm-hmm. No, not at all. Not at all.
You got to be a brand and you got to be trending and you got to be all these other things. But I'm trying to learn some of that so that what I have, if God says, okay, you've been trying to do it like I've wanted you to, you've been waiting on me. So yeah, let's do something and take this whole, and I don't want to call it a ministry because that sounds too like this, but the music, education, good, just spreading some goodness, hope. That's our church is the world. It ain't just in a building.
Right.
It's other places. So that's kind of like what I'd like to spend the rest of my life doing. Yeah. So nice. No record company saying you got to do this or you can't have a song that says that. That's too,
Yeah, it's restrictive. At this, especially at this stage of the game.
But yeah, and then on the other hand, you can say all kind of wild and crazy stuff and get away with it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You can't handle the truth. They don't want me to say what's real, but you could say all this craziness, tell all these lies and stuff.
Right. And let's like the people now who are saying now, Tracy Chapman, who wrote Fast Car that everybody loved.
Yeah.
So now that the country guy does it, people say, oh, it's a country song. No, it's a song she wrote in the 80s.
Right.
And he recorded it the same way. And it goes to #1 on the country charts. But thank God she's making money all over again.
Yeah.
People are rediscovering her song, And she looked, I don't know if you saw her performance on the Grammys, but she was blown away that people responded to her song like that.
Right.
And to see the little guy who told the story that when he was little, it reminded him of him and his dad in their truck.
Wow.
And he's looking at her. It's rare that you see a white person look at a black person with that much admiration, like she was the queen of music, a queen of England. He was just like, you could see it in his face. Right. Even when she was singing her verse, he's mouthing the words because he was so excited,
Wow.
So this
now
is
I gotta go back and look at it again.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a quiet moment. She didn't have dancers jumping around and didn't come out the sky. Just appeared playing that little line and singing the song, telling the story. So I want to do music more like that. We can dance. That's good too.
Right.
Yeah.
I say all the time, you do what you got to do until you can do what you want to do.
Exactly.
Yep. So
that's right.
We're at that stage now where we should be able to do what we want to do.
Right. Yeah.
And on that note, bro, I'm gonna thank you for being on the podcast. I appreciate you more than you know,
Well, thank you. I hope I said something that would be
bro.
interesting. I
Understatement.
say, well, then it was kind of no. So I hope there was something there to share.
Definitely. If I can be of help to you any way, man, I'm here. I'm a phone call away.
All right. Well, thank you. And I know we've talked about this. So Lord, let something come together so we can do some kind of review of something, some music. Yeah.
I look forward to it.
All right.
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
enough. Well, thanks again for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Peace.
See ya. Thanks.
This has been another episode of In the Black of My Mind podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next week, y'all be blessed.